Controverse, Malden's bestest open mic. Well, maybe it's the only running poetry open mic for right now, but this is episode 2 if you are watching online or on UMA, Malden's public access network. We have an interesting show for you tonight. This is our snowed-in special because there is actually a snow emergency starting right at the end of our taping, as I understand. So the audience is a little thin, but we are here to entertain you. It is also Valentine's week, so we might challenge you with some adult language and themes with some of our performers tonight. It is my deep pleasure to introduce to you Ethan Mackler. How could I? Jeff, you are our first poet. And I messed that up horribly. But that's how it goes when you're doing a live show. Anyway, everybody give it up for Ethan. And for our first poet and one of the organizers of the Contro-Verse, Jeff Taylor.
Ethan Mackler, thank you. This poem here is Catfish. I felt like it was appropriate to start off this month's Contro-Verse with this poem, and in light of the Super Bowl, and you'll see why. My cat says voting is a sucker's game. I bought him a collar on Etsy with the words "I voted" embroidered on it, but I haven't made him wear it. I hold the wearable statement awkwardly close to his face, whispering possibilities. He looks at me like I'm wasting my breath, not having believed in anything since being catfished by Taylor Swift. Every night for nearly a year, the pop star mimicked our neighbor's cat's ritual until T. Swift's love dance was revealed to be a nefarious ruse she concocted to win a bet with Ariana Grande. It's been 0 fucks and Sex Pistols ever since, coming ass to mouth with the fact that rich people take niche pastimes far too seriously. When I asked my cat if he made a plan to vote, he said he would be writing in his own name. Thank
you. Thank you, Jeff. Next on the list tonight is someone who is somewhat of a regular, our beloved Donna. Come on up.
I remember that we were coming up on Valentine's Day. About, what was that, 3 minutes ago? So, paper bag. Bodies only have to last until they don't. So stay up all night. Take me for a walk. We all feel footfalls in our weakest parts, sooner or later. Where's the fun in biding time beneath your kitchen counter? Where's the use in never being used? Spread me out for an umbrella, paint my broken back, and love with someone else. Bodies only have one end, and we will be composed before it. Put holes in ourselves to stare it down through.
Thank you, Donna, for braving this terrible storm, which still hasn't dropped anything yet. Kathleen, another one of our organizers, is up next.
Hi, I'm Kathleen. I'm going to read a poem from my book, Necromantic. It's for sale. How about a heartbreak poem for Valentine's Day? This one's called Lapsed. A four-arms kiss of indigo. Indignant snake restraint. Peeled baby black plastic purses. Sprinkle, sprinkle, splatter, toxic matter. Twinkle, twinkle, teaspoon star. Bubbled amber, glittered fizzle. A syringe sucking, gushing, a violation of the heart. Crimson bursts birth from ventricles to a vial. Morse code black, tap, tap, dash, numerals blast. Pupils pin, eyelids slip. XO, XO, I loved you so.
Thank you, Kathleen. Let us know where your book is available and how we can purchase it. And then we'll make sure we put it in all the details in the after bits of the television broadcast. Next on the open mic, we have Chris.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for having me back. It is Valentine's week, and I have a love poem, but it's a little bit something different. It's from my 7-year-old autistic son. I believe Anne has heard this before, so for those of you who haven't heard it, I hope you enjoy it. It's called Wind Phone. I had heard tales of a wind phone somewhere in Japan. Talk to your dead loved, they said. I bought a plane ticket. I flew on the wind. I found the wind phone. It was somewhere in Japan. I waited in the queue. My turn finally came. I approached the booth with trepidation. It was white. That is to say that the booth was dreadful white. And there was a small, neatly organized table, organized in precision. Upon it was a phone, black and dull. What was once shiny and glossy passed through thousands upon thousands of hands. Hand to air, mouth to word to air. Not airs. Wind phone. Talk to your dead love, they said. Only I chose differently. I didn't talk to my father, dead these 8 years, or I didn't talk to my mother, dead these 12 years. I didn't even speak to the baby we lost between my first son and my first daughter. Perhaps his name is Hieronymus. No one I spoke to. No dead loved. But I put my words into the wind phone, hoping the wind would find the ears of my second son, Paul. He is minimally verbal, but luckily for us, more verbal than most. I tried to persuade the wind with my silver tongue, persuaded to unlock the mystery of my second son, who often releases words on the wind, hoping those words will unlock some type of understanding between us. As I look out over a Japanese valley, the wind carries my words away, not to be heard, nor understood. The wind phone holds me silent as I wait for a connection. Whether my second son was there or 10,000 miles away, our words are carried over the wind and pass us by, blowing fierce into the stratosphere, carrying our DNA back to the stars that we came from, out to somewhere where our dead loved are rejoined in the Big Bang connection. As I hung up the phone, I looked backward in the queue, and I felt shame for my wind blasphemy. I had to try, before I myself become dead loved. I hope they can forgive me. I hope Paul can forgive me. I then thought to myself that maybe sometimes not being able to talk to your dead loved is not as bad as not being able to talk to your alive loved.
Thank you, Chris. That was Chris Hickey. The wind phone, waiting for connection. There's a line that sticks with me there. That was really powerful stuff there. Thanks, Chris. Appreciate you sharing that with us. Next up on the open mic, we have co-host Anna Geoffroy. Here you go.
I rewrote this whole thing today, so here's hoping. He collected tarot cards, and she was a two of swords, dark hair whipping in the wild wind by the sea. He didn't need another high priestess, no fat empress. He would take his chariot home to his strength, pine for a star he would never, ever have. And when boredom set in again, he would always have a queen of rods close enough to his tower when he needed to slum in the suits. He collected tarot cards, and she was a seven of cups bursting with too full and loud a mind, fantasies vibrant and violent. She had no lovers, only 2 cups in the cupboard, 6 coins to give away, 4 wands welcoming, but he would never stay. After all, the fool had the whole world, and she seemed content in her 8 of swords predicament, bound tight, blades on all sides, blinded in danger at all times, the razor's edge between wanting to get fucked literally or metaphorically. He collected tarot cards, and she tried so hard to be every ace he could ever need, tried to make of herself a whole hand of 10s, cleaned his stained sword with her dress, filled his cup before he could ask, and true, his rod would bloom in her grasp, but no 8 of coins diligence, no knight of swords courage could distract him for long from the devil he knew, the hermit he longed to be. There would be no justice for her. Sun and moon would not shine in her shrine. Only a 3 of swords waiting to be. He collected tarot cards, and she would get drunk and read for strangers from a standard poker deck at the party. Minor arcana only.
Minor arcana only. Wow, you really pulled that one from the root. I know that I've heard that one before, but not quite like that. That was amazing. Thank you. All right, so we're gonna roll this around again. Oh, I guess that means I'm supposed to read a poem here, right? Oh, Ethan. Ethan is awesome. He radiates awesomeness. It's like he's got like a billboard over his head that he can't see, but we can all see. You know. So Ethan Mackler, take it away, bass master.
Everybody give it up for Ethan! The way this open mic works is we run in rounds. So, we are back at the top. Again, this is our Snowden special. Jeff. It is not like Edward Snowden. Also, there's no heckling, Jeff. Get up here.
You can heckle when you're next on the other mic. It's just like I started my turn a little bit early. Nobody knew. It was like a surprise. Wow, Edward Snowden. All right, this one is called The Loveless. Perfect for Valentine's Day, right? Does the muse know anything about money? Does Christ know anything about Loki? Does self-care know anything about YouTube? Do fathers know anything about fighting the Death Star? Do broken pencils know anything about ADHD? Does my employer know anything about my work ethic? Does cannabis know anything about Camus? Does my primary care doctor know anything about being a gearhead? Do bike paths know anything about traffic? Do playgrounds know anything about bullies? Do societies know anything about collapsing? Does velocity know anything about speed? Do rivers know anything about falling? Do trees know anything about hearing? Do robots know anything about believing? Does my depression know anything about what's coming next? Do elevators know anything about volcanoes? Do aliens know anything about elevators? Do flowers know anything about peace? Do activists know anything about earthquakes? Do ninjas know anything about organizing my thoughts? Do washing machines know anything about sex? Do real estate agents know anything about where you kissed me? Does the municipality know anything about marriage?
Thank you to Jeff. Next up on our list, Donna, have you got another Valentine's one that you can pull out of your hat for us?
I love everyone I love too much to put them in a poem. But, yeah. Before the show started, Jeff asked, I forget in what context, what I wanted. And I said, if I knew what I wanted, would I be here? Because poets are silly. But I did know that I do want to be here. Because the coolness per capita in this room is very high, even with me in it. Which is kind of miraculous. But here's something about that question. It's called vertex. I want her remembering or forgetting. I want her to be burning cheery phalanx of bridges for love or fun. She's remembering, though, behind that one-way mirror of her face. I want her out from under the want. The sparrow hops through a smooth rhombus of chain link, and I want it to be her, to fly. It dips its beak in my direction, tips off the side of the stone wall, and I'm on a bridge, traffic louder than a second ago, before she hung up. She'd been remembering that time a sailboat tipped, slapped into the river, the commotion of orange vests and laughter. I'm either in love or just free of it.
Love none of that negative self-talk, at least not during your intros. You can be as brutal as you want to yourself in your poetry. Next up, we have Kathleen.
This poem is called Futility. A hummingbird glides into a web of golden silk. The woven orb absorbs the emerald bird. the succession of winged beats like a flipped book dimming to a final image. I pluck the pulsing body from the halo and peel the sheets of syrupy threads. As I caress the resin off with a washcloth, his throat of ruby scales glisten. He pops up from my palm and freezes in midair, his wings whirring as he charges into the amber mass to drown again. Some things don't want to be saved.
Thank you, Kathleen. Some things don't want to be saved. That sticks with you. That's like one of those lines that you're like going grocery shopping next week, and it just pops into your head, and you're like, yeah. Thanks a lot. All right, next up on the open mic, we have one of our co-hosts, Mr. Christopher Hickey. He runs the Malden Writers Group here. So if you're a Malden writer and you're interested in joining the Malden Writers Group, I bet you could contact him and find out about
Thank you for the kind plug. I love it. It's always good to be here. Mike's situation might be a problem for me. I'm trying to be loose. I might have to do one of these. Another love poem from a different perspective. I don't know if this is good or bad. Teenage Wasteland. My first real taste of beer happened at 17, an apprehensive sip from a gloved hand on a colder than usual fall night. Huddled in the concrete bivouacs of the Warren Prescott schoolyard, it presented itself oddly from a familiar yet friendly hand. The crackle-crunch explosion of the air in carbonation escaped from the can. It encouraged me a bit, a masculine sound I had come to associate with my father, although he preferred Miller High Life. My adventure wrapped itself in Budweiser, red, white, and blue. The thrill of underage drinking electrified my nervous system. Wrong felt right. Communal crimes created camaraderie. I blew the head off the can as the others did. Brought it to my lips. Effervescent ozone twinkled on my lips, tickled my tongue, teased my throat. Taste buds registered tiny, sweaty, metallic, pumpernickel sour. I didn't like the taste as the others seemed to. Repetition of each chalky mouthful ensued until warmth permeated my being. Unlike any other feeling I'd felt before, it stretched me out long, out of body, a feeling of float. A high-wire traveler, warm in the cold, buzzing. Empty can crushed, tab pocketed to keep score. A new can was passed over to me. More crackle-crunch, explosion of air and carbonation escaped the can. It further encouraged me. Thoughts of masculinity, Dad again, floated up out of the concrete bivouac bunker off of Bunker Hill Street in the shadow of Breeds Hill. Boozed, bred, new vice. Kept tabs in my pocket as the others did. Chatted up friends, outrageous claims, reindeer games. Pulled up on the reins. Had to be home by 10. Dad couldn't know. Bladder full, zipper pulled, released. Bladder emptied, steam rose from the brick wall. A luminescent urine dappled the tar ground. Zipped up and off. For a time, all motion slowed. Reality warped. Chased after myself. Chased home, chased the buzz. Fast forward to 5 years later. Floated along an interstate. Not buzzing, but buzz. Too drunk. Last stages. Trust. Forever and friends. To get us wherever we needed to go. Combat zone. Consumed sin. Hampton. Camping. Salisbury Beach. Summer jaunts. The backseat window opened up. Crackle crunch. Explosion of air. And carbonation rushed in. Further encouraged me. A collective of masculinity. Cruised down the highway. Father knew best. Highway lights, the pulsing metronome of my peripheral vision, night's precision driving, and then the song exploded onto the scene. Sonic boom, vibrations, guttural, gutter snipe guitar, rang the shriek of death out of life, displayed in infinity for thumb noses at death, fretted away frets, fret by fret, strung along, strung out, wielded plastic pick, further encouraged me to ride half-assed, half-cracked, and half-baked into the void. Rushed, no buzzed into the warm embrace of things being okay. Budweiser okay. Budweiser beer okay. I didn't want Dad to know. But Dad, already knew. He traveled that road before. We floated on up and out, buzzed like bees on a breeze, Budweiser buddies, beguiled, bewildered, and bamboozled by youth, spent frivolously against life's ledger, debts incurred, passions spurred, further encouraged, tabs kept. Man, those were some great fucking times.
Great fucking times indeed. Thank you, Chris. So next up on the open mic. No, I'm trying to fix it before you get up here. Is that okay? All right. A little bit of work later, and now we have not a busted mic stand. Look at that. All right, so next up on the open mic, we have from Holy Nonsense. You might know. If you don't know, then you should know. This next poet is also a pope and can tell you how you too can be a pope if you so choose to reach out to them. Thank you. Here we go. Anna Geoffroy.
Jeff, I appreciate you so much, and you understand so little about what it is to be an escorting pope. You're all pope, whether you want to be or not. Sorry, those are the rules. Anyway, this poem is called Someday I'll Break Up With You. I wanted to read something, and everything I have left I wrote for you, and you are nothing left. I can't retread these readings since I opened your mystery box heart and found nothing inside. I wish you had lied when I asked you what your therapist thought of me. If you had the sense to understand that friend with benefits is worse than just a friend, when I have turned myself inside out over and over and over again, I have vomited so much ink over you, over the idea of you. Whole mansions of real estate you take in my head rent-free, fixated unfairly. And you didn't ask for me, didn't want anything from me, just looked blind at what was on offer. Let it sit and rot for years and years until, sudden twist, you stooped, took a break from your disinterest, broke the glass, smashed the pedestal, stepped down to steal my breath, and nothing. Not for lack of trying. Here, let me gouge out my heart for you. Every insecurity, every dream and wish and fantasy. Here, let me carry the whole weight of this thing you never wanted anyway. Not for lack of trying. So many we need to talks, cautious steps forward, pushing gently past where you said you were stuck. So much work I see, and yet you said you loved me, and I felt nothing. 6 years for nothing, just words I can't read, lines that aren't me, claws dug in deep, still holding so tight to the corpse of a crush. Sorry to be a downer, guys.
Next up, we have to my left, who also does a whole bunch of other things here. He plays the bass not only on this stage, but on many other stages across New England. This here is the master, Ethan Mackler.
Thank you, Ethan. The incomparable. We are so lucky to have him here and have you all here on this, our Valentine's, snowed in, very cold, second everything. It's a little bit of a challenge getting something like this off the ground, and I really appreciate all the work that everybody's putting in. Up next on the open mic, we have one of the people who's worked really hard to make this happen. Give it up again for Jeff Taylor.
Thank you, Anna. This next poem is Tobacco and Hash, and it was published on Gas Magazine, which you can get online, and also on YouTube. They have a little thing there too. It's called Tobacco and Hash. Jen was a professional drunk, got killed by a rookie. What kind of career is that anyway? When Jen and I were in Florida, we paid too much for a joint of tobacco and hash. It got too wet to smoke as we rain danced on the pier, cyclones twisting around us. She overcame addiction, only to have her life ended by someone who wasn't there yet. I like to think the woman who caused the accident was Jen's soulmate. They had lived thousands of lives together through thousands of universes, weaving the possibilities of two beings colliding. The roar of this life, reduced to the moment they floated towards each other, locking eyes before everything went black. Jen once told me she wanted all her friends to smoke her ashes, so we wouldn't make the same mistakes she did. What if we all smoked our dead friends' ashes? Would there be an energy transference, reverberating across generations, raising our collective consciousness? Would we take on the weight of each other's lives?
You have noticed heartbreak seems to be one of the themes tonight. Donna, you're welcome back up on the open mic. If you've got a third piece for us, we'd love to hear it. Yeah, you go for it.
I've read your poems. Full stop. This is by William Hickey. I think it was printed in a book called The Rainbow Grocery, and it's called On His Way Home to Wyoming. We were too brief to expect to keep in touch. The traffic stream has carried you past my stop. I am no time you should remember much. The moment of tenderness your mind lets drop, the way a cigarette falls from the hand of a lover who's drunk or half asleep and harmlessly burns out. I understand the pleasure of having what we need not keep. And when you leave, I understand the pleasure of silence, of having my body to myself, of washing your glass and putting it on a shelf, of measuring out the day to my own measure. At ease. Not glad, not sorry that you've gone. The bed stripped bare, the clean sheets not yet on.
Thank you, Donna. We have done a lot of originals, but we do want to encourage people. If you've got something you want to read that isn't yours, please feel free. We love covers. And if you're sitting at home and you're like, man, I have something I wrote and it's wonderful, but I'm too scared to bring it in. We have people who want to read stuff and will happily share your story for you. Up next, we have Kathleen.
This one is called Alienation. It's from back in my drinking days, which I no longer do that. Outside of Fox's, it's 2-for-1 Tuesdays, and I'm 6 whiskey sours deep as the gravel sludges under my boots. And I am suddenly aware, indeed, the Earth does rotate on its axis at 1,037 miles per hour. Pretty blue marble whirling her skirt of clouds, so that's why Mars is always blushing. Veronica's scarlet hair collects the blue light, and I want to kiss her, but she's kissing Victor, and everyone is wearing the same black shirt and the same black pants and the same black boots and the same tattoos, and our similarities sicken me. How can I know everyone here but feel so alone? So I walk away. The street lamps are bright and daunting as they tower over me, judging me. I stick my middle finger to them and their big brother light bulbs. I pull my hoodie over my head and pull ink out of my purse and tag cat on the garbage dump and alley walls and fall over tagging the curb. Oh, we are animals with a painter's palette of only slightly more sophisticated forms of territorial pissings. Mine being ink while the alpha has the atom bomb. BT splashes in neon pink. And I hope maybe strippers will make me less lonely. That one of them will tell me her real name, kiss me and give me her phone number, that she won't disappear when I run out of singles. That I am different than the men who pay for sex because I am a woman, because I have an ego, because I am an animal. Every animal in the kingdom will kill to keep their mate their property. Only we kill in the name of morality. Cheers to another glass of Walkers on the Rocks and Raven's pierced pussy in my face, wagging in tune to the windows, to the walls. Cheers to the fact that I am so exquisitely empty.
Next up, on the open mic, in the studio right now, making sure this all comes from this stage to your house, Chris Hickey.
Another little bit about heartbreak. I know a guy, he took on a red hat 8 years ago and broke my fucking heart. Why do you believe that? The name of this poem. Here I am, there you are, two of us so far apart. Tell me please without delay the reasoning behind our rage. This world of ours a fleeting dream, we're born, we die, and in between. Time our common enemy, also a precious commodity, how much of it we waste. I'm trying hard every day to elevate my patience game, patient with my surly temper. We were once friends. Can't you remember? When I consider the stakes and knowing our mistakes, I contend the path is fraught with pain. And if we continue on this way, what then, my long-lost friend? Is the chasm so grievous deep that we can't bridge what's in between? We became the sort of abnormality, fueling hatred piece by piece, line by line, act by act. It's time for us. I'd like to take it back. Time for some relief. Time to be less aggrieved. Set a course for some lasting peace. A reprieve, seeking common ground. Wounds on display. Acknowledge the need for fair play. brand new day, listening to and achieving an understanding. We don't need a homogeneous view, but just a perspective we can work through to find a respected and idea holder, not derision for malleable visions that can change over time. Life allows for humility. In fact, one of our greatest teachers, don't puff up, but sublimate. Get to the bottom of the concept, try sympathy and empathy. View something that you can't see. Linger in discomfort if it leads to truth. Gained insights are rarely the work of ease. Just grab your old friend by a hand and say, why do you believe that? A mantra, rinse, repeat. Why do you believe that? A start after a line in the sand. Why do you believe that? Defensiveness rising. Why do you believe that? Each passing round destroys the dug-in ground and changes come about. We're getting a bit closer again. Time, our common enemy, also a precious commodity. How much of it we waste. I'm trying hard every day to elevate my game. Patience with my surly temper. We were once friends. Can you remember?
Ethan's so awesome, he plays me onto the stage just so I can come up here and tell you how awesome Ethan is. So here it is, Ethan Mackler. Hi, edit. Hi! Thank you, Ethan, for playing me on stage. That was wonderful music that you just played there. And this is totally happening live right now. So thank you very much. And next up on the open mic, person who thinks that I don't know about Discordianism, but do I? Anna Geoffroy. Here she
Now this one actually is in Holy Nonsense, so this would have been the right time to bring that one up, Jeff, but it's okay. This is called You Are Enough. The world may come at you with knives and try to cut away the pieces of you that do not fit their vision of who you should have been. The voices might pile up one atop the other, screaming your inadequacies, rehashing every loss and sorrow you never learned to grieve. And you may spend your whole life fighting and never seem to make ground. You may lose your friends and see your enemies in power, but know this. You do not have to fulfill any prophecy. You do not have to avenge the girl. You don't even have to get your shit together to be worthy of this love. You are enough as you are now. With your failures and your fears, with your dreams unaccomplished, with your weaknesses and doubt, you with every goofy grin and bad joke, with your scars and your addictions, with the weirdness into your walk and your questionable fashion sense. You are loved.
All right, so next up on the open mic, will not be on the mic because he will be on the bass. It is Ethan Mackler. Take it away.
Thank you again to Ethan. The show would not be the same without the interludes, the wonder that is the incomparable Ethan Mackler. We're going to try one last round for tonight. If you got stuff ready, that's great. If you don't, that's okay, because this is stretch goal time. First up on our last round, it's Jeff.
All right, so this is I was inspired to do a cover poem, as Donna did a cover poem in Valentine's Day. This is like my favorite love poem. So I want to read this poem. It's called "The Quiet World." In an effort to get people to look each other in their eyes more, and also to appease the mutes, the government has decided to allot each person exactly 167 words per day. When the phone rings, I put it to my ear without saying hello. In the restaurant, I point at chicken noodle soup. I am adjusting well to the new way. Late at night, I call my long-distance lover. Proudly, I say, I only used 59 today. I saved the rest for you. When she doesn't respond, I know she's used up all her words. So I slowly whisper, I love you, I love you, I love you. 32 1/3 times. After that, we just sit on the line and listen to each other breathe.
Thank you, Jeff. Donna, have you got another one for us tonight? You got a quick one? I love quick ones. And please don't take that out of context, please. Anyway.
Too late, I'm on stage, it's out of context. To the man who, when our elevator reached the top floor, stayed put and pushed the button for the top floor. I didn't say anything, but it's true. No one can prove that God will hide forever.
It's been a night of fun and inexplicable buzzing. Are we good? Good? Yeah? Kathleen, you good? You ready? You got one? Let's go.
This one is dedicated to my best friend, Ashley McLaren. It's called Inside a Mason Jar, and it's based off of like kind of a mason jar of things I made for her. The wing of a Luna moth, with its blue cat eye dipping into sheets of mica. A feather of an egret collected from the lake. The sand glittering with pyrite. I saved a pinch of that too. The crimson petal of a hibiscus wrapping the skull from the dead garden snake you were afraid to decapitate. 3 drops of blood, a dog tooth, a tattoo scab, a black ink drawing of a heart encircling the woman symbol, crowned with a fist, a slick sliver of Bikini Kill's first vinyl, a Spit Boy patch, and last sealed with a kiss in black wax, a torn piece of a tear-stained t-shirt sleeve from the night you held me and told me I didn't have to drink.
Coming out of the booth, we have Chris. Maybe you got one for us? You got one more? Excellent. Give it up for Chris Hickey.
Thank you, Anna. Let's see here. Still on the Valentine's vibe. The Torrid Tale of Matty T-Rex. Matty T-Rex is a party animal. He isn't particularly short nor excessively tall. He stands guard at the top of a North Shore hill and watches people come and go. He's witnessed plenty of awkward first dates, with tennis shorts full of trouser wood and cuffed jorts containing moist laps, and sweaty petite feet, sockless and shod in white canvas sneakers, left on during the thrill, for fear that the biology of stinky feet would derail the biology of smearing groins. At that age, urgency supersedes a lot of details. Ah, summer. Ice cream cones and cotton candy, holes in one. Matty T-Rex's fatal flaw, he couldn't reach the clubs. As his arms were too short, he never played a game of golf or swung a bat in the batting cages. He just stood watch. The guardian of Saugus. One time he saw a pink hat on his orange crown. It was slightly askew. It's good to know that Matty T-Rex still stands for freedom. And he still parties like it's 1999. Whaloo's gone, Hilltop gone, Matty T-Rex still dreaming of a birdie on the 9th hole.
Earlier, Donna said that cared too much about the people he cared about. Put them in a poem. I'm not that ethical. It's called Someday You. Someday you will be in the hands of a friendly fisherman, tail clipped, barnacles trimmed, tossed back in with half a baguette in your confused claw as you hop in a 1 a.m. cab. And it will come to pass that the military-industrial complex refuses to violate your privacy, and you will be cared for in ways you cannot understand. Call back when you flee into your head without fear or judgment, feeling out who you are now that you cannot be the skins you've already shed. Someday you will fall under the spell of a witch in Salem, stone cold, sane and sober, tethered to your body and time, laughing through what would have killed you only a year ago. There will be a moment standing in a stranger's kitchen when you do not want to leave and don't have to, and nothing will be wrong every touch and tangent landing as you let slip your restraint, even if you can't slide out of the handcuffs this time. Someday you will let go of what looked good on a piece of paper, and all the birds you set free will be happy with new partners and new nests, singing to the sunrise, no regrets. The ghosts will quiet, and you will hold your own umbrella and sing for yourself whatever the hell you want to. There is a version of you that has already lived through every single terrible thing, bone-spurred and thick-skinned with a million fading scars and nothing to prove. Trowel in hand in your comfiest pants as the seeds you planted with abandon begin to break through. Someday you will be walking through a forest of grief to find pink lady slippers and a turkey to guide you to the rock of epiphany, and she will leave you to sit on bare granite, staring out into a cemetery your mother will never occupy. You will hear a Muppet wise man assure you again, you have always been here. You have always been home. Thank you again to everybody for being here tonight. This is our snowed-in Valentine's. Well, it's our second show, and we're doing the best that we can.
It's our Snowden special.
No. Anyway, thanks to all of the organizers, Jeff, Chris, Kathleen, Ethan on the bass. Thank you again to Uma for hosting us. We do this on the second and fourth Mondays until such a time as they kick us out or we don't want to do it anymore. Extra thanks tonight to Victoria, Daniela, Osa, James, and Anne for helping us out. We were supposed to be doing the work, you guys. You were spoiling us.